Space has never been empty and silent. It was filled with rustles, vibrations, the faint pulse of distant stars, but human instruments had been blind to these subtle whispers for too long. At Horizon Observatory, everything changed the day the sensors caught a strange burst of radio waves. At first, it seemed like an ordinary noise, as the cosmic background recordings abounded. But the operator noticed repetition. The interval was exactly 17 minutes and 14 seconds, and the rhythm did not change for a millisecond. With spectral amplification, a structure appeared on the screen too clear, too symmetrical, as if someone was deliberately lining up the waves in a pattern. This pattern resembled a name or symbol written with light. However, every attempt to decipher the sequence came to nothing. Over time, the signal has changed. New lines appeared, as if an invisible source was writing a phrase that people could not understand. And the most alarming thing was that the rhythm of the signal coincided with the frequency of the human heart, as if the source was trying to adapt to the beating of a living being. The scientists sent their response towards the nebula, a pulse with a Fibonacci number sequence. This code has often been used in attempts to communicate with unknown civilizations, suggesting that its universality can be understood by any mind. The answer came in 11 days. It did not contain the usual radio waves. It was a single, dense sound, like a long, deep breath of a huge organism. At the end of the recording, there was a strange low hum, resembling a distant crunch or creaking. It did not add up to words, but it left a sense of the presence of something alive and ancient. When scientists pointed telescopes at the nebula where the signal came from, they found an even more frightening detail. The center of the nebula has shifted a considerable distance. Couldn't have moved like this. The interstellar cloud of gas and dust didn't have a coherent structure that could drift as a single object. But observations showed that the nebula was being pushed apart by something from within, as if a giant mass was rising from the depths. Its borders stretched, bent, gradually forming a shape that resembled a trace or imprint that could leave a huge living organism. Every day, telescopes recorded new changes. The gas fibers spiraled like something was pulling them along. The temperature at the center of the nebula was rising, although no star was observed there. It seemed that something was waking up inside the once calm cloud, whose presence disrupted the usual course of cosmic processes. The data obtained later silenced the researchers. The equipment recorded vibrations, regular, massive, as if coming from footsteps transmitted through space. These fluctuations did not fit any known natural phenomenon. Their amplitude suggested that the source had dimensions larger than anything humanity has ever imagined alive. The last pulse caught by the observatory was chaotic, saturated with low frequencies, like a distant, rumbling echo. After processing, it became clear that the vibrations were spreading in the direction of the solar system. But no one could say whether this was an accident or a conscious movement. The only thing that was certain was that there had been something dormant inside the nebula for a long time, and now that piece is over. Over the following weeks, observations recorded only echoes, which gradually weakened until they finally disappeared. However, there was a trace left in that part of the sky, a void that used to be the nebula, the emptiness of a perfect shape, as if something huge had risen, leaving behind an imprint in space. No measurements helped us understand what exactly left its hiding place, or where it went. But his awakening could no longer be denied. The cosmos continued to make noise as before, but that noise no longer seemed random. It resembled breathing, the breath of something immeasurably large, ancient, and incomprehensible, that once lay in the depths of the nebula and once rose.